right, welcome to Inside the Circle. As always, Zach Baker here, your lead commenter, along with referee Ben Sullivan, and owner promoter Josh Baker. How we doing, boys?
Good.
Good, man.
Off that note, I mean, I saw Ben's post. I said I was in a post. I'm the Mario Yamasaki of HCS. I will let you die in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I tend to not let that happen. I try not to. I've had a couple saves, but just some differences in reffing style between the two of us.
Herb is good sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes not. So
that's the thing. Like, I wanted to get a good ref, but like it's hard to find a super consistent ref, I feel like, and I'm super consistent. So
there is one super consistent ref. The cat, Ben Sullivan. That's who you are.
That's true. You want to not complain about the referees. You come to the circle.
Yeah,
that's real.
Just the best referees you could ever
imagine. I listen to you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I have so much experience doing this.
You have more experience refereeing HCS than anyone.
Facts. I'm trying to think how many matches it's been now.
A lot.
It's gotta be over 100.
I didn't update the total. We're approaching 500.
Yeah, so yeah, I've definitely reffed over 100 then. I've probably done like 200.
I would say you've done at least half.
Yeah.
I did more than I mean, I don't ref every show.
But. Yeah.
Yeah, well, again, welcome Inside Circle, brought to you by Fridays and Algiers Mechanical. Shout out to the sponsors. So let's get into it. HCS 11, hell of an event. But we know what the headliner was. It was the team tournament, and Vanguard came and put on potentially just as impressive performance as we saw out of Dante Rivera in the first one. So that's one. Kind of want to see them in an event together at some point like they should have been. Hopefully we can get that squared away and fixed out because they came in, swept the finals, submission in the finals, 15-0. The first one was honestly a lot closer, but maybe it was just a little warm-up for them because they came in and they dominated.
Yeah, I mean, matchups are awesome. We talked separately. I mean, going into the duels, I said Vanguard is going to be the team to beat. We didn't know what Dante's team was, and unfortunately, they didn't end up coming. I would 100%. I'm down to see. That's what I want to start doing. I want to start adding some team matches just to cards to really go because I think the team format is great. Vanguard is full of studs. I mean, from top to bottom, and all of them are staying active. You'll see a bunch of them on HCS 12 and 13 already. I already got matchups locked in for a couple of them. So, yeah, I mean, the whole field was wild. I didn't even realize.
I was about to say, like, it wasn't the biggest crowd we've ever had, but like if you didn't have the video of it, if you just had the audio of it, you probably couldn't have told the difference. Like the team format brings it's like a different type of energy when you have teams competing against each other. I think people get really into it, and even people who are not necessarily like on the team, you know what I mean? Just like fans and stuff like that. Like there's like a different level of hype around the team format that you don't always get with like individual matches,
Yeah, definitely. Like even with the competitors, like when it's individual matches, they're probably watching, but they're not getting that into it. They're focused on their own thing and their own match. But when you have your teammate out there and their team score matters, and they're all cheering the entire time. That Bayshore crowd was crazy, and I don't even think there were that many people, but they were so loud the entire time. Like, and good thing we had them in the last match, so that was good. But like, they were just crazy the whole time. So yeah, maybe the gym wasn't the most crowded place. It was still pretty packed. It wasn't a light crowd, but the crowd was more focused probably than ever.
It was a big weekend in combat sports. We were in Philly the night before for our fighters, and then there was Tap Cancer Out was the same weekend. There was an event for Sherry who passed away, so they were fundraising. So a lot of people were all over the place, but the stream was good. But the team, that's what I think our team format is the best for the fact that one, it's not quintet style, right? You have to send a new guy every time. You have to pick the different weights. We are going away from the weight difference, it looks like, because it's the second time that we walked into the scenario that Team Vanguard was the smallest team. So we were going to run into some issues that people were going to have to forfeit. But we just said, all right, absolute, send whoever you want. And that played in factor. I mean, I kind of felt bad for during the Vanguard and Average Joe's match going into the last match. I went over and I told them, listen, if you get the sub here, we're going to criteria and you guys win the criteria. Match happens. They get the sub. We go back to find that not so much. Vanguard had 2 regulation subs and they only had 1. But it is what it is. Like, but also that Average Joe's team stacked. And they went 0-2.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they were close in each of their matches, but like with one, criteria, and I think the other one they lost by like a point or 2. But the team credentials, it's crazy. I mean, you have a 2-time state champ, 2-time NCAA qualifier on your team, really going out there and just absolutely just bullying people. He might not know the jiu-jitsu all that well yet, but he's got that mat preference, and the physicality was crazy. Maybe crazy for that one Vanguard kid.
Him and Tyree is exactly why I made this. Like, I mean, you had state champ for state champ. Yeah, Tyree that's turning into pretty much killer in the cage, and then Billy that's on the way up right now in the grapple. I don't know really what his main plan is, but if that guy ends up in the cage,
it'd be a monster
for everybody.
It'd be a monster in the cage.
His forearm is ginormous. Like, it's like I'm looking, I was like, God, like in that match against Vanguard when Michael O'Connor headbutted him, I was like, I never threw a stall faster just so we can settle this down, because
we didn't want a funeral. We didn't want to have Inside the Circle brought to you graveside of Michael O'Connor. Listen, he put on a hell of a performance, gutsy. He went against the 2 biggest guys. He's going out there against multiple state champs and beating them. Beat Tyree, but maybe having a screw loose helped him a little bit, but that headbutt to Billy, at least Billy remained calm, just looked at him like, really? What are we doing that?
He didn't say that calm. I looked dead in Billy's eyes. I was like, all right, everyone calm down. Everyone, it's okay. Let's move on. But
0-2 and still had a good day. Like, I don't think Average Joe should have walked away at Webb BJJ pretty much. They were supposed to be a mix going into the day, and then Webb steps up, all Webb team. Maybe if Webb just wants to send a team from the onset next time, put that team together. But 0-2, but still incredible performances by that team. Getting that sub in that last match to send a criteria, that was big. So
they fought all the way through. Tied with the champs and lost the base for by what, 5-3, 5-1?
Something like that. They the matches were split in all of their matches. They didn't, because then Vanguard the next match, you think, oh, this could be close. If Bayshore actually beat them by more, go out there and just plow through Bayshore like they weren't there. Obviously, Bayshore had in the finals missing a guy, so put them at that disadvantage. But I don't, based on what happened, it didn't matter. They could have seen someone out. Maybe they don't get shut out, but it didn't matter.
That's why I give, just like, it was built by wrestler for wrestler. I give you 7 spots, 7 spots up to you to fill. You have 5 to compete, especially when you got to go through wars like they were going through. You got to be ready to go. And, Vanguard had the 6 guys, and they were hurt. They took advantage of it, but 15-0. There's not much we can say.
Yeah. They had a Bayshore with a little complaint in that first match. Again, once you get to that point at the end, maybe if it was close, you had something to argue, you got blown out. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day what happened there, because you got blown out. But again, they did win that on the day, so it's not like they had a rough day either. And fans crazy the whole time.
And the matches were good. They're
the subs were good. It wasn't.
You get caught. Like Tyree was dominating them. And the lack of jiu-jitsu you saw, that typical wrestling, my posture's down, I got triangled. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten triangled when my white and blue belt days, just because I just want to be so heavy. And it takes a while to realize, no, I need to have posture. I need to relax. And I'm going to use my wrestling and my scrambles, but that's it. Like, I can't rely on my wrestling too much,
Yeah, I'm sure that's something Tyree, Billy, the other wrestlers we had there,
they'll figure it out.
Start figuring out white and blue belt amateur duels for a reason. Get them that experience, help them figure it out.
Dude, Billy's blown up my phone. We're gonna get him back up in August. But the amateurs, that's why we love it. They're scrapping, and that's why the amateur invitational is going to be a thing. I'm gonna invite the top 12 and under those. And I was doing the rankings. We'll bring those out soon, man, dude. I'm telling you now, under 165 is going to be a dogfight.
Yeah, we've had a ton of guys like under 165. I'm thinking about all the guys we've had all the way down.
165, 155. Insane. Yeah. And then 85 is going to be good. All of them are going to be good. But, man, it was a good show. All right.
Yeah, other than that, we had Amy Lynn. She continues to dominate inside that circle. I mean, I kind of, at this point, commentating, I expect to see it. It's not like something that surprises me at this point. She's always ready. I feel like I see her on every other card at this point. She's always there and put on another great performance.
You'll see her in 2 cards for the 125 title. I think we're at the point where, like, I was trying to get Amy a purple belt, get her feet a little wet, get ready for the wild card. I just couldn't find one, but I got Christina, so that was good. Amy went out and did her thing, and I mean, right now Amy's about to make the jump to the pros. She's still a blue belt, but she's going to be in that Grand Prix. That Grand Prix bracket's still building. If you are a 125-pound girl and you are listening to this, let me know if you want in, because we're going to be opening up to, it looks like, non-HCS competitors too. We have a solid 6 right now, but we're going to see how that plays. But yeah, man, Tap House. Went undefeated on the day again.
Great team. Always comes out. I mean, it's one of those teams that comes out that fun too. Like forgot his name, but when he walked in, it was like, Robbie. Yeah, he was like, "You need someone today? I'll do it." He just
I'm here.
He didn't even. It's not like you were looking for us. He just walked in and goes, "I'm here." So I mean, that's the type of energy that we love at HCS. It always comes in handy. It seems like every event something happens where we need it, and we always find it. So,
there's a bunch of people that I mean, Bobby Reardon comes to mind.
Exactly
for the pro duels. That day didn't go well, but he's always been ready.
Mm-hmm.
He has his gear in his bag, and he saw it. Robbie knows that's a scenario. Anyone, you come to a show, bring your gear. Bring your gear.
I was about to say we should have like if you're coming to coach anybody, if you're just coming to watch your teammate, it's like you should just in case, bring a bag, bring your gear with you. You never know what's going to happen.
Can't hurt. Absolutely. Speaking of Bobby, I mean, Ocean County BJJ, Kuno, good day for them. They're always around, obviously. We always got them on our cards, but it was, good to see Bobby get his hand raised after, just always ready to go, always ready to compete in our circle. So always nice when those guys get that hand raised. And then, Dana came out there, showed out. Shout out Coach Doug Stanley. Good coaching in the corner there, getting her ready to go. Another, state champ, 3-time finalist in the building during those matches. But
I had Bobby on the Hammertown podcast when we were talking, and what I didn't even notice, right? He went against Tyler Lee at HCS 10, got finished in a minute. He came in and finished Kamar Marsh in a minute. So when we're talking about a month apart and it's virtually identical, it did not affect him. He's going to be a threat to worry about in that invitational. He's already signed up for the Ironman Challenge in September, looking to rack up points. And that's the whole point of this point process right now. Just keep on competing and getting points. And I mean, Ocean County BJJ, they're Tom DeBlas's students. What do you expect? They're ready to compete. And I'm glad we're keep on getting more and more of them. Which in Dana, man, I mean, Dana's first super fight was with us at HCS 10. She's sitting 2-0 and
back-to-back cards.
I don't think a lot of people are gonna call her out. I'll tell you that now. She's like the only competitor that like gets in here in her warm up. She goes for a solid run.
No, that was crazy. She was the first one there, and she was working out until her match. Like there was no stop. Like it was crazy. Like even Julie took a break. Like her coach was outside, takes a break because she's still going.
She was the first one there last time as well, I believe. Right?
I mean,
I'm pretty sure.
She stays the majority card, but you just tell.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that is the Tom DeBlas, but it's also having Douglas Stanley in your corner and having got to get that first wind out. I mean, that's what. If you guys don't know, Douglas Stanley was mine and Zach's coach in high school for wrestling, and it was. That shakeout was not a shakeout. It was matches. It was
that roll around morning of a match. You would lose about 4 or 5 pounds somehow, and you'd be like, "I got to wrestle later."
But it was I mean, it is what we have some I'll let the announcement come. So we have some more Ocean County and BJJ phenoms coming up on the next couple cards, and local school, man, local dominant school, and you're gonna get the wins.
Next, we had CJ Frazier. He came in, impressive debut.
Yeah, Drew Marsh stepped up at the last second.
As always.
As always.
Drew's always ready.
Unfortunately, that kid has been battling. Not kidding. He's a full-grown adult. He's been battling some injuries this year, and he just got back to training, and he said, "Yo, you need someone? I'm in." So it was quick. CJ impressed me. Calm, cool, collected. He had that 50-50 spot. He had a heel hook in as they went out of bounds. We had to reset, but once I said, "What do you want?" he had confidence. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take the arm." All right, cool. Took it, and that's what it was. Was it the arm? I think he took the arm.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was the armbar.
Yeah, but
because you don't see that often, so it usually sticks with you when someone takes the arm because usually people are taking the back there.
Yeah,
I feel like especially recently, like almost every time, whether it was an overtime or a reset, like the back is chosen like 90% of the time.
It depends, man. I mean, like it's for me the mindset, like in that if it's the time, I'll take the back, right? Because you can ride that armbar, man. It's like unless you need a finish, like it's a skiffy spot. You can slide right out.
It's tough, yeah.
But listen, what do we know? We leave it to them. We'll see how the gi. Well, we don't have different overtime spots, but it's going to be similar because you're not going to be slipping out of everything and have a good grip. But
yeah, that probably will change a lot. Yeah, from there, I mean, Dietrich, 3-1. I mean, that's point builder. He's always ready to compete. 3-1, impressive record now. He's getting to the point where he's getting to those records of those top guys that are always in our circle, the guys you hear about from us, the Cockles and them that have those bigger records, those higher wins. I mean, he's already at 3, only in 4 matches. So you give him 2 more. If you're looking at him 5-1, he's all of a sudden he's one of the top guys at HCS. So
yeah, he's a player. He's another, tap house guy. He's always someone that comes to the shows and has the stuff in the bag. He did the pro duels and had an impressive day. And I was happy I was finally able to get him a match on his own. Yeah, I'm interested to see where Dietrich moves. He's a stocky guy, so he's going to be able to go a lot. But we'll see. I mean, Brian Jensen was a tough guy at the Garden State. So they went back and forth a little bit. I was doing a lot of other stuff, but I had to keep on checking at the match, and they put out. I mean, Garden State was there, loud, but yeah, Dietrich got the win. Ben,
I think you might be muted.
Muted. First day.
Yeah,
there was a dog barking. Anything on that one, Ben?
I mean, yeah, like the higher level guys always impress me. Like, I'm just a blue belt, but like you can see some of the decision making that goes on in a lot of the higher level matches and how fast it goes, and like it's impressive to me watching it sometimes. And that's why reffing can get a little nerve wracking sometimes, especially when I have to ref 2 high level guys. A lot of these guys who've been probably like doing this like half my life, but yeah, like it's always just super impressive the level of. I mean, I guess that's what jiu-jitsu is, right? Just high paced, fast decision making, with really severe consequences, and like the whole. I mean, all the following the team duels, it just went like.
So
it felt like 15 minutes. Like it was just like so high paced.
The pro match submission after submission.
Yeah, I think that's just what you get when you get high level competitors. Just throwing down like that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
obviously, as the ref, you gotta be more ready than us in the booth. But even in the booth, like when we transition to higher level, it's always like, even if it looks like something, nothing's going on from the viewer's perspective, it's always like at any moment, I gotta be able to make the, drop the hammers, got to come out the mouth. I gotta be ready.
Yeah.
At all times. They happen in the booth. Yeah, we were talking, and all of a sudden, we take our eyes off the mat for like a second, and we turn, and a submission happens, like just like that. And that's what happens at those pro levels, because those little things that they're doing, you might not even see them.
Yeah.
They're setting something up all the time.
I mean, that's why for the pros, we only do a 6-minute regulation. You go to all the other ones, you're doing 8, 10, 12, no time limit. You got time to think. I give you 6 minutes, and then you got to deal with our overtimes, and people can think of what they want in the overtimes. So if you don't want to get there, go get the sub.
Yeah, play faster.
Get at it. And the more high-level guys I talk to and say, what do you think? Like, some guys like, maybe make it to 7 or 8. But then the other guys are like, no, I love, like, you got to go. Like, I know I'm thinking of my move A, B, C, got to go right away. And I think that's why we get the exciting finishes that we do. It's why we want to grow jiu-jitsu. We don't want to just sit and stare at butt scooting.
The short time limit and the enforced stalls, like you don't really have an option to do a lot of the same jiu-jitsu that you see that, no offense to anybody, but it's kind of boring stuff. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of time watching jiu-jitsu, you don't want to see two guys sit in
each other for 45 minutes.
50-50. Yeah, it's like no time limit matches. And I understand it's like a test of endurance and stuff like that, but if you're thinking about jiu-jitsu as like a product that, you want to show to people. I know, Josh, you had said that like your goal for HCS is to make a sport, make jiu-jitsu a sport that people who don't train or don't really know anything about it want to watch. And it's like, those are the type of matches that will get you there. You know what I mean? No time limit, 75-minute matches, I'm sure are fun for people who are super heavily invested in jiu-jitsu, but just for the average viewer,
not me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't even know if that's even true. It's impressive.
If I find out, not Gordon Ryan goes to 45-minute match. I find out how it ends. I skip all.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to that 40-minute mark, and I like 5 minutes. All right, let's go.
Yeah. Because I'm looking like you holding guard for like 10 minutes. Great, dude. You have some really nice quad muscles, but I don't care. Like,
yeah.
We got to go HCS, the aggressor is always favored. That's why the submissions are happening. The cool submissions are happening. It's because the aggressive guy that goes in there looking to hunt immediately, if they get up against an opponent who's maybe from another jiu-jitsu and hasn't come to this circle, and they think they can be that normal calculated, they get submitted so quickly because they're like, oh, we're already going. Like, I'm not ready for that. And it's like, no. The whole point of this is be ready because we're going.
Yeah, warming up is key. You can tell some guys that go out there and like are normal, like, oh, I'm able to chill out, and you can see different warm-ups. If you look around in the gym, you can see the vets are like, oh no, we got to go. Like, they're moving. Like, I'm seeing Amy like do actual matches over there. Bobby's like doing actual matches and going, and that's why I also think like the team duels is good because you get 2 matches, 3 matches, and you're like, no, I got to go. But yeah, we want the casuals to be able to hop on like, yo, no, like I got to look at this match for at most 11 minutes. Like, it's not, and we're going to have a definitive answer. Not, we have to wait for 1 round of 11 minutes. Like, that's.
Yeah.
That's why the UFC, they made it rounds. Like, it was.
Yeah.
Help for the fighter, but it's also help for the viewer. Like, when you have the no time limit or like the pride, like that opening round, like, dude, that's a while. That is a long time. It does help the competitor, but as a viewer,
45 minutes of half guard, it's like no one really wants to watch that.
So,
people want to see the action, the juice.
Exactly.
And then I think it was our only ADCC match of the evening that was settled there. Lopez came in and he kind of, kept going from where he was last time. He ended strong in that last appearance. A lot of matches that day. Came back. I thought it was impressive. Our big boys on the day, but I thought it was impressive display by Lopez.
It was a good match. So the backstory about this match. So I posted it. I needed a 205er. And then Michael Dew hits me up and says, yo, I'm in. And then I'm thinking, like, Michael Dew's like a 70, maybe 65. Like, what's going on. So I made the match, and then I post for like another 75. I was looking for CJ Fraser. And then dude hits me up, like, yo, I fucked up. Like, I read the wrong date. I'm only like 175. I was like, that's what I said, whatever. So then we talked to Lopez, and he's like, I was like, yo, what's the lowest you can get? And he said, I'll make 195. He's like, I haven't been in a minute, but I like to test. So he challenged it, he tested himself, but you can see the size difference. I mean, Dew was not completely undersized, and he's a big boy, and dude, that takedown. That's why I love the ADCC round. When
okay,
it happens, man, it happens. He picked him up and put him down. But hey, listen, if we got to that point, so that just showed jiu-jitsu, the sport of the smaller guy taking out the bigger guy. It was there. Like, Dude had a couple chances.
I thought Dude, despite the weight disadvantage, did a pretty good job of holding his own. Like, he didn't really let himself get like bullied. You know what I mean? I think that tends to happen a lot when you get a big size difference, where you can see where just like the pressure and the strength of a bigger guy kind of just turns into almost like, bullying is not the right term, but you know what I mean? Like, the pressure becomes too much. And I thought Dude did a pretty good job of not letting that happen in the match.
He was not the nail. And
yeah.
I mean, you saw who was in his corner. He had Alex Nemeth in his corner, talking about big behemoths. He's getting thrown around by that guy. And when he locked up with Andy, he's like, whatever, it was good. I am working on Dew's return for AGS 13 with someone in his weight class. So we are working that.
And then last, not certainly not least though, Vanguard, they said you thought our team performances were better. What if I go out there and I just dominate again? And they did it. So that was a continued performance. If we want to wrap it all together, Vanguard had their 5 submissions in the final, and then he comes out, gets 2 more submissions, and he wraps up maybe the most perfect day we've seen from a team as a whole, just absolutely going out there and they're just destroying everybody they touched.
Yeah. So this is a sensitive subject, right? So Dylan Garfalo is who we were talking about. Dylan stepped up for his teammate, Felipe, so, and there's no notice. But we originally were supposed to have 2 matches, right? We're supposed to have Ricardo and Michael Haynes-Muller, and then Thiago was going to go against Dylan. Someone didn't show up. Obviously, you can guys read between the lines and know who didn't show up, and you will not see him inside the circle anymore. I'm going to leave it at that.
It might be a similar person who hasn't shown up before.
Yes, so you've done it multiple times, and I've heard I'm not the only organization. So best of luck. Anywho, for the guys that did show, Ricardo had a good match against Thiago. Dominated that the whole time. Ricardo's and he's a tough black belt. And I know Dylan and Ricardo have competed before, so there was a little hesitancy of making the Ironman, but they both were game, and Dylan walked, 2 regulation subs. It's in the same day. And we'll talk about it. We were hoping we were going to get to see him a little bit more, but he got a little banged up right afterwards. So, but yeah, Vanguard. Perfect. That's what it is. Long Island BJJ. So Xavier Barrios, which he'll be back on HCS 12. He left his rash guard, and as the pay-per-view company's leaving, I realized he did. So I hit him up. I was like, "Yo, you left your rash guard, whatever." It's like, "Yo, it's our we're right up the road at Fridays, whatever." I was like, "Oh, all right, yeah. I'll come bring you your stuff." So I came and I got the picture with them, and thank you, TJR Fridays. They went in and they right away, they had dinner on us. And it was just them seeing the team. They came down from Long Island. That's not too far, but it's not around the corner. And by the time I got there, it was already 8:30, 9 o'clock. So they weren't getting back until 11, 12, whenever. I don't know how deep Vanguard is on the island. But the team is what we want. So and we're probably back, Barrios is on 12. I think somebody else too. Forgetting. 13 will be here, but it was a good time, It was a good showing by all.
Yeah, absolutely. Great card. It was always going to be tough to follow up HCS 10. All the hype, crazy atmosphere, sellout, all that kind of stuff. Biggest names. I think we did it. Obviously, you don't have the big flashing name power on this card, but the grappling was crazy, and that's what you're there for. I mean, that's how you hook a fan. Maybe they tune in to see one name, and then they watch a card and they're seeing other crazy things go on, like, oh, maybe I can watch this more often. That's exactly what we're going for. So I think we were able to follow it up and keep it going. I mean, HGS 12, probably who's to say it's not going to be better?
Listen, I mean, you always deal with it. I mean, HGS 10 was great. That's what we wanted to. And we knew we were going to take a step back, but at the end of the day, I don't care how many tickets are sold. I don't care how many streams are bought. As long as the action inside the circle is good, then we're doing a good job. And I think we had over a total of 30 matches, including all the duels and stuff like that, in and out, 3.5 hours. I think product's a product, and that's what we can keep on going. And I'll tell you, HGS 12 is going to be better than HGS 11, so we might as well get into it. The card stacked, and I think when I scheduled these out, I didn't realize how back to back we were. But we're back to back. It is what it is. We'll have a nice little break between 12 and 13, but the house party never stops. You got to keep on going. People are always coming in, always want to pay their cover and go. So
yeah, we'll release the bracket soon, but we'll cover it here. I mean, you have to start at the top. You have to start with it. Champ's back. He wants another belt. He wants that cash prize. I mean, it's hard to say that Andrew Cockle's not the favorite because I don't know I've ever seen someone who would make him not the favorite.
He's got 15 points, 7-0, 6 finishes. His only finish came in the opening round of the Grand Prix in December. The biggest thing that I'm interested in is the weight cut. You do get the day before. We'll see what time that. I think I'm going to tell a lot what time that video comes in. I give everyone from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you guys didn't know that, when you compete for us, I give you a virtual window you have throughout the day. People have jobs, all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, this isn't paying the bills, so everyone has other lives. So we'll see. I mean, if he sends it to me at 6 a.m. on the dot, he might be ready. If I'm looking at my phone and it's like, shit, we're getting close to 6. But that's not me. I don't know how his weight cut goes. He's a professional. He said he's made 55 before. And there's nothing to prove besides this that he's not going to come and take another belt. This could be looking like his office with 2 belts behind him before we know it. I'm interested. I'm happy he's back. But
yeah, I mean, double champ would be cool, but I don't think the rest of the bracket's going to make it easy on him. I don't think they're going to want only one champ to be representing HCS. I think they're going to come out, with something to prove. First competitor, 8 seed, Troy Fenniger will be his first round matchup. Go ahead.
Troy's part of that Rockland gang, bro. So he's trained with Andy Lopez, and we'll talk about Michael DiGastino. It's going against Tyler Lee, and Rockland comes out, man. Troy had a great performance. If you guys didn't get to see Troy's action, you can see it right on our YouTube channel. He was in the Wildcard Grand Prix. Made it to the finals. We've had some injuries, unfortunately, to this Grand Prix, so the bracket has changed. But I hit up Troy. I said, yo, you impressed me. You want in? And he said, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Zach, just to let it out the bag, he is the number 8, but it's coming out. The brackets, I'm announcing it in order, and we are doing a point system. So it does not take a rocket scientist to figure out where you are in the bracket.
Golden nuggets for listening to the podcast. I got to reward the people.
Troy's a stocky guy, he's about like my size. And I do say, I have hobbit feet. You're not heel hooking me. So it depends on Troy, that's a big game for Cockle. Obviously, Cockle has different attacks and he can bring the fight anywhere. But also Troy has nothing to lose. 0. He has a great opportunity in front of him. And like we said, everyone has a bad day. All you got to do is you got to be in it,
Mm-hmm.
thing with that is like you got to go and visualize. Like you get through regulation, it's a different fucking ball game, just completely different. And we'll see. I mean, he knows he got a tough task. He knows he got invited after people got hurt, which is nothing. But he was ready. He answered the call right away. I think I had to wait like 20 minutes from the message I sent him, and he said, "Yeah, I'm in." And here we go.
There's been bigger upsets. Combat sports that's what it's about. I mean, the whole point of combat sports is that once the cage closes or we say kumbach, that anything can happen after that. It's out. You might have prepared, but who knows what's going to happen? So who's to say that Troy's not going to do it? Andrew, again, Kako wasn't our 1 seed. And he went on a win. So, but he wasn't the one. So, I mean, it required him outperforming his seed. Obviously not by a lot, but people lose. And he was the only favorite to win in the first round last time, I believe. Pretty sure all the underdogs at that point had won their first round matchup when he went. So,
listen, and Rockland's going to bring an army, and there's 3 of them on the card. So, got his coach. They'll be loud and go for it, kid. Go, Troy. I'm all in for upsets. I mean, that's what makes this sport great. Yeah, anybody can do it, and go for it, kid. Shoot for the stars.
Next matchup, we'll have Freddie Pont up against Anthony. Always, again, apologize for saying it as Hua. I always assumed it was Hua. Anthony Rua up against Freddie Pont in the second match there, the Grand Prix.
Yeah. So Rua won our wild card. Impressive day, 3-0. He beat Troy in the final. Man, this is an interesting matchup. I'll say. I mean, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw when I shared Freddie's announcement. Me and Freddie go way back. I can't have a favorite. I don't have a favorite. But he was on my wrestling team, and so we know Freddie's game, and Freddie's one of the OGs here. And I said he was half of the first ever main event for HCS against Tom Selmier when we were doing it on an iPad. It took some time to get him back. We waited till he got his black belt, and now he's a black belt, and he took out Jason Patton like it was nothing. And Jason, solid black belt, a long black, he's been a black belt for a good amount of time. And Freddie went to it. So black belt versus purple belt, another one, just like if they're in the 5v4 seed. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And Freddie's not the biggest 55. He's lean. He looks big, but he only weighs like 150 pounds. So Rua's not the biggest. So Rua's funky. Like that kid, he has takedowns for days too, though. Remember that he was shooting those blast doubles and everything. So I think we're gonna have a scrap. And I think
the cardio is crazy on him. I mean, he never stopped going that in all of his matches. So I mean, sometimes with the wrestlers, you assume that they're gonna have the cardio advantage, but I don't think you can out cardio Rua. So
yeah, I mean, it's wrestler v wrestler. So again, matchups that it's going to be exciting. And yeah, okay, let's go. Let's see who's up. 4v5, the 4v5 is always a interesting matchup.
Point of it, I mean, it's the guys you put in the middle, and there's never really too much of an advantage either side there. So excited for that one. Third match is going to be HCS vet, one of the most active competitors, Zach Shimos, up against Nick Toscano. 3 versus 6.
Yeah. I mean, Zach's coming off back-to-back losses for us, dating back from the Grand Prix. He was number 1 in the Grand Prix last year. I think at 155 is his weight. I think that is the weight class.
He's always looked a bit smaller when he was competing heavier.
He's lanky, but he might have to cut a little more weight. But most of his matches, like singular matches, have been at 55. So I think that's going to be a big thing. He's long. He's dangerous. Like there was no question. I mean, you got caught last year by Nottingham, and Nottingham is tough. Nick's on a tear right now, though. I'll give it. I mean, Nick debuted for an Ironman against Justin Gonzalez and Cody last July. Actually, that's funny. So he's coming from a year from his debut. He had a win in. Was that 8? Was that the Grand Prix show when he beat your boy Ben?
I couldn't tell you what number of
I
things
think that was
happened.
it.
Yeah.
There's a lot. We're nearing 500 matches. I mean,
I think he's
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he beat
I
Chris
can't remember
Alberto.
the event.
Yeah, he finished him. But the Italian, he's going right now. He's in arena grappling, finishers. Forgot what other show, but I'm pretty sure he's like riding a little bit of streak right now. And he's feeling himself. He got promoted to brown belt. When you get promoted to brown belt, you just feel, oh, I'm there. I'm the cream of the crop. So the confidence that he has is going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think him and Zach have crossed paths yet, but they will July 12th.
Yeah, and then
July 15th. Well, HCS 12.
Yes, correct. In our last matchup of that day, we're gonna have Andrew Franco up against Bo Buie, another late replacement there in Bo Buie, recent purple belt. And listen, I understand we don't have favorites, but Bo Buie, favorite name to say when commentating. The absolutely electric name, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for him to come make some noise at this higher level now.
Yeah, I mean, Bo's making the jump. Welcome to the pro ranks. He's got a tough task against the Buggy Master, Andrew Franco. It's gonna be interesting, Obviously, Franco coming off his one win inside the circle right now at HCS 10 with a very deep buggy choke. And if you follow the Latin Samurai, he hunts that buggy choke.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's not finding his way there and saying, "Oh, a buggy choke." No, he's setting it up the entire match.
Hunting. So it's interesting. I mean, it's a good matchup. Bo's coming off his exciting at the last Grand Prix show, which I guess there's a theme here as I think about it. All these guys made it. The singlet Bo. Singlet Bo is
dangerous.
So if he comes out in the singlet,
dangerous Bo, confident Bo. If you're listening, just start with it. No need to change. Just have it ready to
right
go.
out the gate. Right out the gate with the singlet. Let him know.
His match maybe make a new bylaw in the rules. If you switch your outfit mid, because Mario took his shirt off. If you switch your outfit, you get hit with the stall. You want to go shirtless? Go shirtless. We can't be going into overtime like, oh, I'm gonna take my shirt off now.
Sometimes the momentum's worth it. You have to give up the stall, but if you need the momentum shift, always electric in the booth when you get to commentate on the wardrobe change. And so that's the bracket. I mean, I'm excited. We have, and it's going to be different than the last one. Last one, we were seeing people who they'd been in the circle, but now we've seen them even more. And now everyone in there is names that we recognize. There's video out there on our YouTube for you to go check out of all these guys. Get excited for it because these are competitors that are all, even though, might say a 1 versus 8 or a 2 versus 7 or whatever, they're a lot closer than numbers are going to tell you they are. So I'm excited for this.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to stay away from that for now.
Okay.
I'm going to
anything to look out for? Anything to look out for in this bracket?
Ben, I'll let you make a prediction. You can make a prediction.
About HCS 12 or just in the future?
No, the bracket.
Well, the bracket.
Who's taking the belt?
The bracket?
Give us your finals. Give us your champ.
I'm gonna have, it might be a boring answer. It might,
okay.
I'm gonna go with Andrew Cockle. I mean, nothing I've seen from him so far has told me anything other than he has the skills to, run through that bracket. And it might not be as easy as it's been before for him, but it's just like, I feel like when he goes out there and he competes for us, like there's almost just like a difference in skill level, even against people who on paper should be like of like similar skill. And not to say that they're not of similar skill, but he just has a way of making it look different. And he almost looks like he's not trying too hard when he wins. And that's got to be a little demoralizing. But yeah, like I said, that's my prediction, Andrew Cockle. I mean, he's the champ already for a reason. And I think going forward, I personally, I don't think it's going to change. I mean, I know the sport's crazy and, I'm saying this now, and, last bracket we had like all upsets in the first round. So you never know what can happen, but That's my prediction.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't disagree. But let me give you a wild prediction. I'll just go out on a limb. I want a final Rua Bowie. Give it to me. The two newbie. Listen, they learned their way there.
Yeah.
Rua Bowie. Let's go, Bo. I don't know. Let's throw it out there. Shock the world time. Why not?
Listen, I mean, if you're talking about like if anything happens, I mean, it's really going to be the pace setter. You know, how does Troy do against Cockle in that opening round? If Troy does well, all the other purple belts are like, fuck it, let's go. Let's go. You know, get behind you guys, and I'll take it. The Cinderella story. You know, filling out your bracket.
Why not?
You got to do. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good bracket. I think it's a tough competitive bracket. We've had changes, but we got 4 black belts, 1 brown, 3 purples. So,
Good, yeah.
Do belts mean anything, or do they just hold up your pants? That's what
we'll find out. Let's go purples. So wrapping up the show. Anything else? HCS 12.
HCS 12. I mean, the 2 other matches I want. So we got Tyler Lee back against Michael DiCastano. That's gonna be a banger. 2 blue belts are gonna go at 165. And then we got a black belt match that I'm super excited for. Luis Cabrera versus Nicholas Wiley. They've never competed against each other. We've been trying to get Cabrera on this card for a very long time. I've been trying to get Wiley on the card for a very long time. The fact that 2 black belts in this area have not competed against each other and are happening right here inside the circle couldn't be better. You know, it's gonna be fun. I mean, the whole card's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a good night. Catch it live here, hcsgrappling.com. And then, I'm going to be coming out with some more videos about the Ironman Challenge in September. If you're an amateur and you're looking to get into that amateur invitational that we have talked about, get in it, get your points. And especially if you want to see Guy inside the circle, register. We're doing it in the tournament so I can see it. If it looks awesome, I can guarantee you I will be doing Guy cards. But if I don't see it, if I don't see the support for it, it's not going to happen because I'm not a Guy guy. You can talk to Ben. Ben wants this Guy. I'm bringing it.
And speaking of Guy, I'm going to say something. I'm even going to take off the glasses for it. I do not want to hear anything about reaping in the rules. If you're going into Guy, I'm not going to call reaping. Do whatever you want. I don't want to hear about it if you complain of getting DQ'd.
But you can't twist on a toe hold if you're white and blue belts.
That's true.
I'm not seeing it anymore.
And at all in Guy. No twisting leg locks in Guy. Reap away, but no twisting leg locks. I'm gonna lay down that rule right now.
And put them into the wall. You ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. Do whatever you want. Wrap your leg around there like 3 times for all I care. Just don't complain about it because I don't want to hear it. We're not the IBJJF here.
I love nothing more than when the captain gets excited. Nothing more when you could feel the fire in the belly there from the captain.
That's probably the angriest I've ever been in my whole life.
Love the energy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Inside the Circle 3, huh?
Great show. Thanks for joining again. Fridays, All Jersey Mechanical. As always, thanks for sponsoring. Can't wait to see you. Already, 12 days away? See you actually inside the circle. Keep an eye on the Instagram. HES Grappling, HES Super Fights. Check them out. And we'll see you soon. Been a pleasure.